Welcome, Commanders, to Starfleet Academy for Star Trek Fleet Command. I am Captain Pike, and this is the Academy's crew analysis of PIC Beverly. PIC Beverly was introduced into the game in March of 2023 as part of the Arc Legacy Part 1. This version of Beverly comes to us from Star Trek Picard Season 3. And she's probably the most useful officer to come to us from the 2-month-long Legacy arc. So let's check out PIC Beverly. PIC Beverly is a rare officer. She is a member of the Picard group in-game, and her faction is Federation. And her officer division is Science. She will provide synergy to any member of the Picard group at varying levels based on division uniqueness. Keep in mind that Admiral Picard of this group does not receive synergy from any of the Picard group officers. Her captain's ability is hands-on. This officer does not have captain's maneuver, so equipping this officer in the captain's chair provides no benefit. Personally, I'm okay with PIC Beverly having no officer ability, as it does fit her character dynamics. What do you think about PIC Beverly not having a captain's ability? Her officer ability is Critical Condition. Increase critical hit chance by 3% every time your ship is hit by an attack while fighting non-armada hostiles. This is cumulative. This will increase up to 8% at Commander. Weapons with multiple shots will only register this ability once per attack. This ability should be fun to test out for Commanders. PIC Beverly's officer ability is similar to Khan's, but for critical damage instead of critical chance. Pay close attention to the wording on her description. This specifically says non-armada targets. So what does that leave her open to be used against? Sounds like she has some PvP capability. She definitely has benefits against hostiles, and we can use her against bosses as well. We will go into more details on ways to use and crew PIC Beverly in our putting her to use section of the video. Pros for PIC Beverly. The cumulative increase in critical damage is very nice. Long battles are going to equal big results. Both PvP and PvE potential. Multiple weapons per round count, not shots. Think about what hostiles or enemy player ships will stack this quickly. Potential values in ATAs. Some negative or cons for us to consider. There are other crew available that boost damage at a higher percent. They are not cumulative though. You need to receive a lot of hits each round to stack fast, meaning more damage is going to be incoming to your ship. You must choose between her officer ability or her below the deck ability. She will not hold up against strike team. PIC Beverly's officer ability should be beneficial to almost any player in the game. PIC Beverly will get you another potential hustle grinding crew build outside of your normal grinding crew. She may even be that pivotal officer to defeating the mission boss you have been struggling with. And when you get into the 50 plus hostiles, 52 plus hostiles that is, she's going to really help you to get through those daily hostile grinds. PIC Beverly's below the deck ability is Organ Donor. Beverly increases the amount of broken parts you get from killing hostiles by 10%. At Commander, this is going to go up to an impressive 50%. The pros on this is that any benefit to increased part drops is going to be welcome, as long as we can afford to put it below the deck. The negative to this is that it's not beneficial to our sub 37 ops players who aren't farming their ship parts yet. So PIC Beverly's below the deck ability is really only going to benefit players farming capital traders or 40 plus hostiles. If your ship's bonuses allow you to put PIC Beverly below the deck, the little extra boost on the broken parts is going to be very nice and should reduce your broken parts grind time a little bit. PIC Beverly's traits are Scientist and Perceptive. There are 11 ATAs that require the Scientist trait. Several of these will adjust based on your operations bracket. These ATAs are Accelerated Bioforming, Experimental Procedures, this scales by operations. Gas Contractor, also scales. Geological Evaluation for crystal, Geological Evaluation for gas, and Geological Evaluation for ore. And Geothermal Conditioning for crystal. All 4 of these will scale based upon your operations level. Planetary Survey, Research and Development, Scientific Breakthrough, Scales at Ops, and Sensor Analysis, also scales at Ops. There are 2 that need the Perceptive trait. These are Double Agent Interrogation and Forensic Investigations. None of these ATAs use both of PIC Beverly's traits, so if you invest trait XP into PIC Beverly, you will not get maximum return. With the number of science trait ATAs she can be used in, I would give her a moderate interest in investing trait XP into her. If you are finding her pop up more frequently as a trait holder on these ATAs for you, and you don't really have an available crew with this trait invested in it, you may want to consider investing trait XP in her if you find value in those ATA rewards. Keeping all of PIC Beverly's abilities in mind, how are we going to put her to work for us? First, let's take a look at the PVE activities we will get the best results from PIC Beverly on. There has been a lot of discussion in our Discord server on PIC Beverly and the ways that commanders have been using her. Feel free to come join us and contribute to the discussion. The link to our Discord is in the video description below. Here are the PVE activities we will review for use with PIC Beverly. Each of these, we will discuss the crew and benefits. We're going to look at Freebooters, mission bosses, regular hostile grinding for G3 and lower commanders, G4 and G5 hostiles. Freebooters. So how are we going to use PIC Beverly against Freebooters? Beverly is going to give us an alternative, non-triangle focused crew build for our Freebooter hostiles. This means that the crew is not dependent on the battle triangle, but keep in mind your ship will be. A good universal crew with PIC Beverly on the bridge that works well for all levels of players is TNG Picard, TNG Beverly, and PIC Beverly. TNG Picard's captain ability is Make It So. Jean-Luc Picard increases the effectiveness of all officer abilities that trigger in combat by 20%. This ability receives the same synergy bonus from all TNG officers regardless of class. His officer ability is Engage. Jean-Luc Picard is going to increase our critical damage by 5%, and this will go up to 25% at Commander. TNG Beverly. She will give full synergy to Picard based on Picard's captain ability. Her officer ability is Unshakable Moral Code. When fighting hostiles and armadas, Beverly Crusher increases armor, shield deflection, and dodge by 150% of the defenses of all officers on the ship. This gets that captain ability boost from Picard, and when she is commander, it also goes up to 350%. Here we put PIC Beverly. She's not going to provide any synergy to Picard, But she does receive the benefit from Picard's captain's ability, boosting her officer ability Critical Condition. Critical Condition increases critical hit damage by 3% every time your ship is hit by an attack while fighting non-hostile armadas. This is cumulative, and it goes up to 8% at Commander. It is important that we generate critical hits to benefit Beverly. This is where Hugh below the decks will come in handy if you have it. Weapons with multiple shots will only trigger PIC Beverly once per attack, so keep this in mind. She's really going to shine on attacks where you have more than one weapon firing in a round. This setup is going to be a great alternative to running the Tal Triangle specific Freebooter Crew. It will perform similarly, but will also allow you to engage in Freebooters where the battle triangle is neutralized by the same class. This will be helpful if you want to pick up some quick broken parts for the same class of ship you're using. Speaking of broken parts, what about leveraging PIC Beverly for her below the deck ability Organ Donor? This is going to increase the broken part drops. This is only going to benefit players hunting 40 plus hostile ships that have broken ship parts. For this, I personally would leverage the Tal crew, and that is any Strange New World Triangle officer. The Strange New World's Triangle officer is going to give us their captain's ability. This will be a modification of critical chance or critical damage, and their officer ability targeting specific hostile type for mitigation increase of 500% at Ensign, going up to 1800% at Commander. We'll put Giorgio in one of the officer seats. She will give her officer ability that is Deceptive Warfare. At the beginning of each round, Giorgio has a chance of burning the opponent's ship for 2 rounds. This is going to go up to 82% at Commander from the base of 50% at Ensign. Then we'll put Tal on. His officer ability we're going to leverage is Resistance, and as long as the opponent's ship is burning, Tal is going to decrease its hull health by 5% each turn at Ensign, and this is going to go up to 10% at Commander. Then by placing PIC Beverly below the deck, she is going to give us a boost on the loot that's dropped from the hostiles. Since the Freebooters have a generous loot drop compared to regular hostiles, Beverly is going to increase the amount of broken parts you get noticeably. Next, let's talk about crewing for mission bosses. Mission bosses, I like to run a more unique crew. Since I have Data, I love to use him on the yellows, and he did very well with PIC Beverly. There are plenty of other options, but Data synergizes well with Beverly. Let's see how in this crew build. TNG Data has a great captain's ability called Positronic Precision. When fighting hostiles and armada, Data increases the critical hit chance by 17%. With synergy from TNG Bev, this goes up by 3%. So PIC Beverly is going to play off this increase in critical chance very well. His officer ability is Effort Yields Its Own Rewards. When fighting non-player targets, including mission hostiles, Data increases armor piercing, shield piercing, and accuracy by 60%, and this goes up to 300% at Commander. Also very nice against the mission hostiles. We've already described TNG Beverly's officer ability earlier in this video, but in short, she is here to synergize with Data as well as to provide us with impressive mitigation. And then PIC Beverly. We're going to get no synergy, but she does receive benefits from Data's captain's ability, and that's going to help us with her critical condition, which increases our critical hit damage by 3% every time your ship is hit by an attack while fighting non-armada hostiles. Again, this cumulative increase goes up to 8% at her level of Commander. For commanders grinding sub-level 40 hostiles, stick with your PMC, PIC Morio Chen, or PMT, PIC Morio Talon, or Strange New World crews. These are going to be more reliable than putting PIC Beverly on the bridge, especially since she relies on critical damage, than trying to figure out how to squeeze her into your grinding crew. Because you're not dealing with broken ship parts, unless you're working on capital systems and those are 49 hostiles, you will not want her below the deck. But if you're grinding capital traders, put her below the deck to increase the return on your broken parts. If you're short of any of the PMC or PMT crew and you have PIC Beverly, possibly TNG Picard and TNG Beverly, you could sub in Beverly or that group and see how it goes. But most of us should have PMC and PMT, and we'll probably find better return for them than trying to use PIC Beverly. For players working on 40 plus hostiles, this changes though. You're going to be better off running PIC Beverly below the deck with the available crew builds that we have, PMT and PMC or S&W crew. We are going to find much more use in Beverly below the deck capabilities than by putting her on a bridge seat. The broken ship parts are going to be a much better return with her below the deck. Things get better in the G5 territory with 52 plus hostile grinding. Beverly is not locked to any kind of hostile level, so this means she's going to work on level 51 plus hostiles. Here we have a choice we can make though, depending on our level of 52 hostiles and our success rate at destroying them. We can either put PIC Beverly in the officer seat, or if we need a boost for broken part drops, we can put her below the deck. Let's take a look first at how we will put her in an officer seat. With PIC Beverly in this crew build, you will get benefit of the build not being 100% triangle focus. What that means is that you get a little flexibility depending on the ship you have placed this build on. Commanders going up against 52 plus hostiles can leverage the same crew build that we used for Freebooters, or they could take that Freebooter build and add a little twist. We'll run TNG Picard, TNG Beverly, or we can actually put Khan here as well and PIC Beverly. Leveraging PIC Beverly for her below the deck broken parts boost, you could run your favorite grinding crew with PIC Beverly below the deck. Whether you're running a triangle type crew such as Strange New Worlds triangle crew with Beverly below the deck, or something like TNG Picard, TNG Beverly, and Khan, you will find PIC Beverly will be an asset to your below the deck. It's going to help you in accruing your broken parts faster. PIC Beverly may be useful in PvP for some commanders. Testing this was not the case for me. Depending on the target you are fighting, she can take too long to spin up the critical damage. You're not going to want to run PIC Beverly on bases, especially if you're running ROM in the captain's seat, because he has a chance to delay the initial firing. There will be no incoming attacks to boost Beverly's ability. You may work okay for those not using ROM or for defenders who are using Crash to prevent ROM. Problem will be you're going to take the full brunt of damage as well. I think the best place to integrate PIC Beverly into your PvP activities might be in base defenses. I did not, however, have the chance to test her in that scenario. How do we obtain PIC Beverly shards? PIC Beverly was not released with a known sourcing path. Best chances to get her was in the ARC events, and the ARC obviously is now over. You'll want to look for PIC Beverly in the store packs and event rewards. She did show up in the Legacy Part 2 ARC event store, where you could spend the event currency to purchase her shards. She will most likely show up in additional events, so keep your eyes out for her. PIC Beverly is going to be a good officer, if not great, for players in the G4 plus range of the game. She's going to help with their hostile grind and assist with the acquisition of broken ship parts. She's a good alternative crew member for a grinding crew, or will help you to assemble a secondary or third grinding crew. All players should see benefit from PIC Beverly when it comes to the Freebooters, either on the bridge or below the deck. On the downside, I don't like that we don't have a known way to obtain her shards. She has been available in the event store, and I suspect we will see store packs for her, as well as see her come up in some event rewards. But it will be interesting to see how they plan to let us source her in the future outside of these methods. Because of the lack of sourcing, upgrading her will take a while. Thankfully, she is useful at Ensign, so if you happen to have purchased or unlocked her from events, she will be of use to you. G3 players may struggle to find some use for her. She should help with the hostile grind for some and may make a good secondary grinding crew option. Best bet for G3 players will be on Capital Traders and Freebooters. Check out our website for more videos. And join us in Discord using the link in the video description to continue the discussion and get access to more resources. We hope you found the video informative and helpful. If so, please give us a thumbs up and share. We look forward to your comments and suggestions. Live long and prosper, Commander. I'll see you at the Academy.